Hi, Chris from Quirky Neighbor here, and I've been building out my Etsy shop recently, and I've been using primarily a print-on-demand model, a POD model, and so far I've been using Printful as my fulfillment partner. So I wanted to talk today about a few of the products, household and a couple of accessory items I've used. And sorry about the noise in the background. I face a kind of busy street. So I was just say, overall, I've been pretty pleased with Printful. Their fulfillment speed is better than I've been expected based on what they publish, and they have a nice seller dashboard where they give you good production tracking information, so you can see is it in picking, is it in printing, is it been shipped, and it integrates really nicely with Etsy, and it sends back to the tracking information right back to the Etsy customer, so they get their information as soon as everything's sent out. So first thing I'm going to talk about are mugs, and a lot of folks do simple text mug designs, and that is one of the things I started out with. So this is their 11-ounce mug model, and it's just a simple Mother Nature hates you and wants you dead. I must admit I got this from a Try Guys video. I think it was their Survive the Wilderness one that they did a couple years ago when they were still at BuzzFeed. So this is a pretty standard white ceramic mug made in China. I mirrored the text on both sides, which is kind of how I like to do it. I'm left-handed, so I'm kind of aware of, you want to be able to, regardless of which hand you're using, see the design. So anyways, as I said, made in China, machine, microwave safe, dishwasher safe. I was very pleased with the design seemed well placed based on the file I submitted, and it seems straight. It's been through the dishwasher. It looks pretty good. I was pleased with it. So here is another. This is the 15-ounce model. So as you can see, I happen to actually prefer the proportions of it. Well, it helps that it holds more coffee. But I don't know, at least for my personal preference, but that's all just a matter of personal preference and what you want. This particular style also has this little foot feature, like you can see in the profile's a little different. As for the design itself, this was a bit of an experiment for me. I have the text the same on both sides, but this is some holiday themed clip art that Halloween candy that I had purchased for commercial use from an artist. It was a watercolor design, and I scattered the little elements asymmetrically around the mug, and I was pretty pleased with it. The colors as printed came out pretty much the way they looked on the screen, the way they were expected, and I use this almost every day, and this has gone through the dishwasher multiple times, and it still looks really good. So once again, the quality, can't beat it. And I know a lot of people have talked about with Printful, they're a little pricier, which they are, but I do feel like I'm getting my money's worth with them. So this last mug I'm going to show you is another one of the 11-ounce ones. This is another one where I used a watercolor collection that licensed for for commercial use, and I did a sort of a mirror. Instead of it being exactly symmetrical, I mirrored it with the design layout, and I used different texts. So the idea behind this was that you could get custom mugs with people's names on them for the holiday. So I will probably be doing something similar for some other holidays, weddings, bridal showers, that type of thing. But that was a good experiment in how to do that. So again, the colors here turned out very nicely, very similar to what I would see on the screen. So they're printing on ceramic. I think you're going to get colors that are pretty true to what you see on your computer screen based on my experience. So now my next item, and this is something I don't know that I've really seen too many people review from Printful at least on YouTube, is a throw pillow. Now I've taken the insert out so I can show you the interior of this. So I do a lot of sewing, so I feel like I'm pretty familiar with construction techniques, with fabric qualities, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect on this, and I have been pleasantly surprised. So this is the 18-inch square all over print premium pillowcase with insert, and so this fabric is 100% polyester, and it has a slight sheen to it and a linen weave, meaning if you look at it like from the side, or actually not even from the side, it has sort of a slubby texture to it, which is very attractive, and I know a lot of people like that. I mean, not everybody does like it, but I think it looks nice, and it has a really nice feel to it. It does not feel cheap in any way. Now, the interior construction is pretty standard industrial, you know, in style, clothing and accessory type construction with, you know, so, you know, but very straightforward. Seams, you know, not a decent seam allowance for industrial, you know, mass quality, mass produced, with a pretty standard plastic coil zipper inserted on the bottom. I will say my primary quibble with the construction is this spot here where the zipper is inserted, you know, the opening is a known stress point in this type of construction, and I feel like the seam could have been anchored a bit better. But that's really my primary construction quibble. And when you do this, what they're doing is you upload your files, and you actually get to choose front and back. You can have different files, and for the front and the back, I'll show you that once I put the insert in. And you can choose your thread color and your zipper color, either white or black, which is great. You know, so you just pick whatever seems to suit better for the background, primarily the background color of your design. So you know, you don't want to have like a white zipper if you have a dark blue design, unless you want that as a design statement. So let me put this in. As said, it arrives with the pillow insert already in the cover. I feel like a pretty decent presentation for your customers, and it looks, I mean, it looks really nice. You can use it right out of the package, and I have been using this on my sofa to test it out for about a month. And I will say the insert itself is probably a little cheaper quality than I personally would choose if I were making a throw pillow, but it's perfectly adequate. And as I said, I've been using this for about a month, you know, on my sofa every day, and I don't really have too many problems fluffing it back up. I'm just trying to get it back neatly into the cover here, get it all zipped up. It's a firm polyester insert, so it's not squishy in the way like a down pillow would be. It's like a firm polyester, so it like rebounds to its shape. So as you can see, you know, looks really nice, I think. You know, nice and fluffy. And you go around, look around the seams, and one of my concerns was, well, would there be any white around it? But if you get your bleed right on your layout, and they give you nice instructions on the template, you know, and you get your, you know, fill in the background color, you're not going to see the gap. I've discovered, you know, any sort of thing. The only place you see anything that's not your background color is down here at the bottom with the zipper, but that's the bottom. So as you can see, this is the front, this is the back, and that's simply part of the upload process. You upload two separate files, one for the front, one for the back, which is great because, you know, you can make them the same, you can make them different like I did, but it's a really, you know, you can really customize, and it's not extra cost to have the front and the back be different. So overall, I've been I was pleasantly surprised with the quality of this. Now the print colors, so I used the same collection that I used for this mug. Now you can see the colors are a little bit different. They're actually a bit more vibrant on the fabric. The reality is, when you're printing on two very different materials like this, ceramic versus fabric, it's always going to be different. You're never going to, it's very hard to get an exact color match. So if you're doing some sort of collection where it's very important to you to have cross-product color matching, you're probably going to have to experiment a bit with your color settings on your as you produce your files that you're uploading to Printful to get a closer color match. For me, this was fine. I was really happy with the color results. And now I haven't tried washing this yet. This cover is supposed to be machine washable, dryable. You would want to take the insert out, of course, before you put it in the washing machine. So I can't speak to how well this is going to last in the wash, but they use the same technology for printing this fabric as they use for the leggings. And I do have a pair of leggings, I'll talk about those in a different video, that I have put through the wash, and the color has lasted perfectly. I haven't had any problems with them. So this is another one that I think as a winner, I am definitely going to be doing more designs. I only have a couple up right now, so a couple pillow designs at the moment. But I was pleasantly surprised with the quality of the pillow. So let me see, I'm going to look at my list here. Okay, and the last I'm going to talk about is a phone case. So they have phone cases available for most of the more recent Samsung Galaxy and iPhone models. I happen to have a Samsung Galaxy S7, so this is actually the oldest of the Samsung models for which they have a cover available. And they have, for the iPhones, I believe it goes back to the 6, and they have all through the the latest versions. I've never been much of a phone case person. I tend to, if I've used one, it's been one of those sort of barely there types. And this is a bit heavier than that. It fits pretty snugly. So I've taken this on and off a couple times today. So as you can see, it comes off pretty nicely. But it stays on very, like, it feels very secure when it's on the phone. Now, you probably see the sides are clear. The design is only on the back. It does not wrap around. So, so if you're looking for something like that, the Printful doesn't have that particular style. So it pops back in nicely. And at least for this particular phone, I haven't, the registration for the portholes and for the buttons is pretty much spot on. Maybe a millimeter or two on one of these, but I haven't had any problems using it. Now, interesting, the buttons are not holes in here. It's actually it's a cover for the button, and so you're actually pressing the cover, and the cover is pressing the button, if that makes sense. But I haven't had any problems with it. I might have to press a little bit harder than I normally do, but nothing. It's just a matter of getting used to it. So. And now the back of it, so you can see this is where it's printed. The back, it's sort of a matte texture. It's not shiny or it doesn't have any real sheen to it, and has a slightly textured, almost linen texture, but it's very subtle. You have to really look at it from the side. I don't think it's something I could capture on the camera. Now, as for the color printing, so this is the exact same color, same collection that I used for the mug and for the pillow. You can see the colors are pretty similar between the mug and the pillow, much more muted on the phone. And in fact, when I was doing this in Photoshop, I actually used this, like in Photoshop, these grays are the exact same, but you can see it's much more muted on the phone, which I must have kind of surprised me, but it's definitely something to keep in mind when you're doing this. And you can order samples. I know I haven't considered, and it's something I probably should do. I know for some of the other products, like for the leggings and for the t-shirts, you can get samples that actually have like all the RGB colors on them with the color codes, and so you can see how it prints on that product, on that particular surface. And I think I need to get that. I've gotten it for the t-shirts, I've gotten it for the leggings, which I can show you in another video. And I think I probably need just something similar for the phones and the mugs and the pillowcase, so I can get more precise with my colors going forward. But it's just something to keep in mind, that the phones and the pillows and the mugs, you are going to get different results with the colors if you use the exact same files. It's just the nature of the surfaces, I think. So that's all I've talked about today. So I've talked about mugs, throw pillows, and the phone cases, all of which I've been pleasantly surprised with. And the I've been pleased with the service from Printful overall, and don't have any real complaints. So I will have a link to my shop in the description, and on Etsy if you're interested in looking into these products. I've been adding a lot more as I go along, and I will continue to do so. And you also see a link to Printful, which is an affiliate link, but if you're interested in signing up for Printful, just checking them out, seeing what their prices are like and what the service is that they offer. I said I have this, it synced up with my Etsy shop. It works really well for both loading and then order fulfillment. I've been very pleased with it. So anyways, I will talk to you next time, and when I talk, I'll probably have more products to show you. Thanks. Bye bye.